The gun, the gun, the gun. The gun is usually the recurring theme. Keep lethal firearms out of the hands of people who would use them to kill. Banning firearms is the only way to avoid all mass shootings, individual shootings, and gun suicides, including the one that occurred in Monterey Park, California, on Saturday and the one that occurred in Half Moon Bay today. This time, during a festive weekend of Lunar New Year celebrations, 11 people were killed, and 9 others were injured at a well-known dancing class and ballroom in a neighborhood with a high concentration of Asian Americans. This time, the alleged assassin was an Asian American man in his 70s who committed himself by shooting himself as police closed in on him. The Uvalde, Texas, school tragedy last May, which resulted in the deaths of 19 children and 2 adults, was the previous deadliest mass shooting. At that time, the attacker was an 18-year-old former student of the school who was carrying an assault rifle in the style of the AR-15 when U.S. Border Patrol agents slew him. The worst mass shooting in American history occurred in October 2017 when a 64-year-old man entered a Las Vegas hotel room armed with 24 weapons, including assault rifles and thousands of ammunition, before opening fire on a large crowd at a country music festival. This attack resulted in the deaths of 60 people and the injury of over 400 others due to bullets or shrapnel. Like Monterey Park, the shooter committed suicide before being apprehended by police. The features and motivations of mass murderers vary. Males predominate. Few are old, and most are young. By definition, almost everyone is dealing with some mental health problem. Contented, adjusted individuals do not randomly murder innocent bystanders. Some are motivated by prejudice, as in the 2015 Mother Emanuel May Church murders in Charleston, South Carolina, or the supermarket shooting in Buffalo last year. Some people are xenophobic or anti-Semitic. Other people are motivated by sexism, a personal grudge, or paranoid hallucinations. Sometimes the catalyst is never identified, much less comprehended. But in every instance, the attackers could frequently acquire weapons and ammo easily and legally. According to the Switzerland-based Small Arms Survey, there are 393 million firearms in the United States, which has a population of about 334 million. Our weapons of death are more numerous than we are. California has the nation's harshest firearms prohibitions. The law forbids the ownership of semi-automatic assault pistols with extended magazines, the type of weapon used in Monterey Park. Although it is now unknown how the attacker obtained the illegal firearm, it would have been easy to buy the weapon in a state where it is legal. Additionally, although illegal, the sale of firearms on the black market is not unheard of. Practically speaking, anyone sufficiently motivated to possess a gun will find a means to do so. President Biden enacted the most important federal gun control law since the 1994 assault weapons ban, which was allowed to expire in 2004 last June, in response to the horrible horror in Uvalde. The new bill supports red flag regulations that permit the seizure of weapons from dangerous people and gradually tightens background checks for gun transactions. It also funds crisis intervention programs. However, it ignores the crucial point that purchasing lethal weapons of war and unlimited ammo is more accessible and more anonymous than getting a new car or a passport. The far-right majority on the Supreme Court holds the position, which has been rejected for much of our history, that the Second Amendment, written in the era of single-shot muskets and flintlocks, was intended to apply to contemporary firearms with exponentially greater lethal power. Politicians who enjoy the excessive generosity of the National Rifle Association are cynical or delusional enough to believe that the answer to mass shootings is more guns or that the best way to stop a bad person with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. However, these occurrences are more of an exception than a rule. It is difficult to see how more shooters in that crowded ballroom in Monterey Park could have reduced the death toll. 2 courageous good guys without guns disabled the shooter as he fled the scene and entered a second ballroom in neighboring Alhambra, where he reportedly intended to commit murder. It is unclear if they would have been as successful against a younger, more powerful attacker. At the very least, we require a ban on assault weapons similar to the one we once had, which did lessen mass shootings. Maybe one day, a new Supreme Court majority will bring sense back to gun laws. But, until then, there will be more unnecessary deaths, bereaved families, and heartbroken people.